When you get older, avoid these 5 homes at all costs, no matter how free you are. When you reach a certain age, something beautiful happens. You realize that freedom is not about how many places you can go, but about choosing where your heart feels safe. After 60, 70, or beyond, your time becomes more precious than ever. The years ahead are not to be wasted in places that drain your soul or with people who chip away at your peace. There's a quiet wisdom that grows with age. You begin to see clearly who lifts you up and who drags you down. Every invitation, every open door, is not necessarily a door you need to walk through. Because not every home is a home for your spirit. Some houses may look warm from the outside, but once inside, they leave you emptier than before you arrived. At this stage in life, your body demands rest, your heart longs for kindness, and your mind craves peace. You've walked through storms, carried burdens, and endured countless battles in your younger years. You've earned the right to live with dignity, joy, and clarity. That means protecting your steps and being careful about where those steps take you. Think about it. Every time you walk into someone's home, you step into their world, their energy, their choices, and not every world is safe for your soul. Some homes are heavy with negativity, others are filled with manipulation, and some are places where chaos reigns. When you leave those spaces, you don't leave empty-handed. You carry that weight back with you, and it lingers in your heart. So let this be a gentle reminder. Just because you are free to go anywhere, it doesn't mean you should. Your freedom is too valuable, your peace too rare, and your health too fragile to gamble with. In your golden years, wisdom is not about saying yes to everything. It's about learning the power of saying no. Because in the end, the life you protect today becomes the peace you enjoy tomorrow. And every choice, every door you step through, shapes the kind of old age you will live. Number 1, the house filled with constant negativity. There is a kind of heaviness that no doctor can diagnose and no pill can cure. It's the weight of negativity, the constant drip of complaints, criticism, and bitterness that slowly seeps into your spirit. When you're younger, maybe you had the energy to brush it off, to laugh it away, or to escape into your busy life. But as you get older, when your time is more fragile and your peace is more sacred, negativity can do more damage than you realize. Walking into a house where the air is thick with complaining is like stepping into a storm without an umbrella. Nothing feels safe. Nothing feels warm. Every word you hear is a reminder of how broken the world is, how hopeless things seem, how nothing is ever enough. And the longer you stay, the heavier your heart becomes. You've probably known someone like this. The person who always finds fault in everything. The weather is too hot. The government is failing. The neighbors are no good. The young people have lost their way. Even when something good happens, they twist it, reminding you why it won't last, or why it isn't as good as it seems. It's like they carry their own dark cloud, and when you step inside their home, they pull you under that shadow too. At 70 or beyond, you cannot afford to carry those shadows home with you. Your body needs calm, your mind needs light, and your soul needs encouragement. Negativity is not just words, it is poison. It raises your stress, it sours your outlook, and it makes you believe that joy is far away when, in truth, it is right within your reach if you protect it. Think about the way you feel after leaving such a home. Do you notice the tiredness in your chest, the tension in your shoulders, the quiet sadness that follows you back into your own living room? That is the cost of negativity. And you must ask yourself, why should you pay that price when you've already paid so much in life just to reach these golden years? This isn't about judging those who are bitter. Everyone has their battles, and some never learn how to heal from them. But you must recognize that their battles are not yours to carry anymore. You can love people from a distance. You can pray for them, wish them well, and still say no when the invitation comes. Because your well-being matters. Remember, negativity is contagious. Just as laughter can spread, so can bitterness. If you surround yourself with voices that tear down, soon you'll find your own joy weakening, your own hope slipping away. That is why wisdom calls you to guard your circle, to walk carefully, to know that not every open door is meant for your feet. You deserve to spend your days in light, in warmth, and in conversations that make you smile. You deserve to be in places where people lift you up, not weigh you down. And when you choose not to visit the house of constant negativity, you are not being rude. You are being wise. You are saying to yourself, I value my peace. I value my health. I value this life I still have. And let me remind you, positivity is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to see the good, to nurture hope, to cling to gratitude. When you are around people who live this way, your spirit rises. But when you are around people who choose to drown in complaints, your spirit sinks. The choice is yours. At this age, your time is too precious to waste in places that dim your light. The truth is, you don't need every door open anymore. You only need the doors that lead you toward peace, love, and a reason to smile. So if you feel that heaviness the moment you step inside someone's home, listen to it. That is your soul whispering, this is not where you belong. You've earned the right to walk away from negativity. And by doing so, you give yourself the gift of something priceless, peace that no one can take from you. Number 2, the house of manipulators who use you. There are doors that appear welcoming, but once you step inside, you realize you weren't invited for your company. You were invited for your usefulness. These are the homes of manipulators, people who see your age not as a sign of wisdom or honor, but as an opportunity. They smile, they flatter, they call you family or friend. But beneath their words lies a different agenda. As you grow older, you become a prime target for this kind of manipulation. Why? Because manipulators assume seniors are easier to sway. They count on your kindness, your loneliness, or your generous heart. They know you might not want to say no, and so they dress their requests in soft words. They might invite you in for coffee, but soon the conversation turns toward money, favors, or something they need you to do. And before you realize it, you've been pulled into a web where your goodwill is being drained. Think of the times you've been asked for just a little help. Maybe it was a loan that was never repaid. Maybe it was babysitting again and again when your body was already aching. Maybe it was a neighbor who needed a ride, but only called when they needed something from you, never to simply check on you or share a kind word. The sad truth is, some people don't see elders as souls to be cherished. They see them as resources to be used. It hurts deeply when you begin to recognize this pattern. You walk into their home hoping for warmth, for connection, but instead, you feel the weight of being taken advantage of. They may flatter you, saying, "You're so strong, you're so wise, we couldn't do this without you." But if you pay attention, their praise is tied to what you can give them, not who you are. And this is where wisdom must rise. At 70, 80, or 90, your life should not revolve around being someone else's crutch while your own needs are ignored. Helping others is beautiful. Giving love, sharing wisdom, extending kindness. But there is a difference between giving freely and being used. The first fills your heart with joy. The second leaves you drained and empty. Manipulators thrive on guilt. They might say, "But you have so much free time," or "It's not that hard for you." They play on your sense of responsibility, your history of caring for others. But let me remind you, your free time is not theirs to claim. Your energy is not theirs to waste. Your heart is not theirs to exploit. And sometimes, manipulators are closer than you'd expect. They can be relatives, even children or grandchildren. This truth is painful, but ignoring it can cost you more than you realize. Love your family, yes. But love does not mean allowing yourself to be taken advantage of. In fact, true love sometimes means setting boundaries, showing others that respect is not optional. When you leave the home of a manipulator, notice how you feel. Do you feel seen, valued, appreciated, or do you feel used, invisible, and tired? That feeling is your truth. Don't ignore it, because your later years are meant for peace, not for carrying the weight of someone else's schemes. The danger of manipulation isn't just emotional, it's financial too. Seniors in America lose billions each year to scams, cons, and exploitation, often at the hands of people they thought they could trust. Every time you step into a place where your guard must stay high, you risk becoming another story of heartbreak. But you have the power to prevent it by choosing wisely whose homes you enter, whose company you keep, and whose words you believe. It is not selfish to say no. It is not unkind to protect your peace. It is wisdom. It is strength. And it is your right. Saying no to manipulators means saying yes to your own dignity, your own freedom, your own happiness. At this stage in life, you owe nothing to those who see you as a tool instead of a treasure. Your presence is a gift. Your wisdom is priceless. Your time is limited. Spend it where it is cherished, not where it is consumed. So when the invitation comes from someone who only remembers you when they need something, pause. Ask yourself, am I valued here, or am I being used? And if the answer stings, walk away. Because walking away from manipulation is walking toward freedom. Number 3. The house where chaos never ends. There are homes you step into and immediately feel your spirit tighten, like you've walked into a storm. The noise is constant, the air heavy, and the atmosphere restless. Arguments echo through the walls, television blares at full volume. Children shout, doors slam, and even when voices fall silent, tension lingers like a shadow you cannot shake. This is the house where chaos never ends. For someone in their later years, chaos is more than an inconvenience. It's a thief. It steals your calm, unsettles your heart, and unsettles your body in ways that younger people may not even notice. When you're older, your heart needs steadiness, your mind needs quiet, and your body needs peace. Chaos does the opposite. It spikes your blood pressure, tenses your muscles, and leaves you exhausted long after you've left. Think of how you feel after a visit like that. You come home not with joy, not with warmth, but with fatigue. Your head aches, your spirit feels drained, and you ask yourself, why did I go there in the first place? That is the power of chaos. It does not just live inside the walls where it was created. It travels home with you, clinging to your thoughts and unsettling your rest. Sometimes this chaos comes from families torn apart by constant fighting. Maybe you know relatives or friends whose homes are battlefields. Every dinner is an argument, every conversation a chance for insult. Other times it's simply disorder, clutter piled high, noise unending, no sense of peace or safety. At first, you might excuse it, saying, that's just how they live. But your spirit knows better. Your spirit knows it is not a place to linger. Chaos is contagious. Spend enough time in that environment, and you'll find yourself anxious, restless, even short-tempered. It seeps into you without permission. And here's the truth. At your age, you've already faced a lifetime of storms. You've worked through struggles, carried responsibilities, solved problems, and endured hardships. You've walked through years of chaos already. Why walk back into it now, when what your heart craves is rest? This doesn't mean you don't love the people in those homes. You can love them deeply and still protect yourself from their constant disorder. Love does not mean tolerating what destroys your peace. It means knowing where your boundaries are and keeping them strong. You can visit them in other ways, meet in neutral places, or talk on the phone, but you don't need to sit in the middle of their storm. There's also another danger in chaotic homes: the risk of physical harm. Cluttered, disorganized spaces can be unsafe for older bodies. A misplaced toy, an uneven rug, a floor scattered with items. These can lead to falls, injuries, or worse. What might look like harmless mess to a younger person can become a serious hazard for a senior. Protecting your peace also means protecting your body from unnecessary risks. And there's something else. Chaos does not respect your presence. In a peaceful home, you are seen, heard, and valued. But in a chaotic home, your presence is often overlooked, drowned out by the noise, the fights, or the endless distractions. You leave not only feeling drained but also invisible, as though your visit didn't matter. And at this stage in your life, you deserve to be cherished, not ignored. Ask yourself this: why would you choose to step into chaos when you could choose calm? Why give away your energy to disorder when you could spend it savoring laughter, sharing wisdom, or simply sitting in a place that brings you joy? Every visit you make is a choice, and every choice either builds your peace or breaks it. So if you know a home where chaos never ends, protect yourself. You don't need to go. You don't need to apologize. You don't need to explain. Your health, your spirit, your peace, all are worth more than a seat in the middle of someone else's storm. Life is too short, and your years too precious, to keep walking into places that unravel you. Choose the homes where peace lives. Choose the spaces that feel like shelter, not battlefields, because the older you get, the more sacred peace becomes, and chaos has no right to steal it from you. Number 4. The house that disrespects your presence. There is no wound deeper for an elder than the sting of disrespect. At this stage in life, when your years have earned you honor, wisdom, and dignity, nothing cuts sharper than walking into a home where your presence is brushed aside, your words are dismissed, or your very being is treated as if it no longer matters. Respect is not a luxury, it is a birthright of age. And when it is absent, the heart feels it instantly. Imagine stepping into a house, expecting warmth, but instead you feel invisible. You greet people and they barely lift their eyes from their screens. You speak, but your words are met with silence or laughter, as though your thoughts carry no weight. You sit in the corner while conversations whirl around you, and you realize that in this space, your presence is not honored, it is tolerated. That kind of treatment is poison to the soul, and no elder should subject themselves to it. Disrespect doesn't always come loudly. Sometimes it is subtle. It is the mocking smile when you share advice. It is the quick dismissal of your stories. We've heard that before. It is the impatience in their voices when you take a little longer to rise from your chair or search for the right word. These small cuts add up, leaving you feeling smaller, weaker, and unworthy of attention. But let me tell you, you are not small, you are not weak, and you are not unworthy. Your years are your crown, and anyone who cannot see that does not deserve the gift of your company. Disrespect can come from strangers, acquaintances, and tragically, even family. Some children forget the sacrifices their parents made. Some grandchildren are too busy to look up from their devices. But whether intentional or careless, the effect is the same. It makes an elder feel unwanted, like a burden. And carrying that weight damages more than just your heart. It chips away at your spirit, your joy, your will to engage with life. You deserve better. You deserve to be welcomed with gratitude, listened to with patience, and cherished with love. In cultures across the world, elders are treated as treasures, keepers of memory and wisdom. Yet in some places, including parts of our own communities here in America, that reverence is fading. But just because others forget doesn't mean you have to accept it. You have the power to choose where you go, where you sit, and where you give your light. When you visit a home that disrespects you, notice how you feel as you leave. Do you walk away smiling, or do you walk away aching inside? Do you feel uplifted, or do you feel smaller than when you arrived? That feeling is the truth. Listen to it. Life is too short to spend in places that dishonor your worth. Respect is more than polite words. It is in the way people pause to hear you out. It is in the way they make space for you at the table. It is in their patience when you move slowly, their gratitude when you share stories, their warmth when you simply show up. A respectful home wraps you in belonging. A disrespectful home leaves you cold. The difference is night and day, and you should never settle for the darkness. Sometimes walking away from disrespect means walking alone. That can be painful, yes. But remember this: solitude with dignity is far better than company with dishonor. Sitting in your own quiet living room, surrounded by peace, is worth more than a chair in a house where your presence is unwanted. And in that solitude, you will discover strength, self-respect, and the truth that you are never truly alone when you honor yourself. At this stage of your life, you have no obligation to remain in spaces that belittle you. Your time, your energy, your wisdom, they are precious. Do not cast pearls before those who trample them underfoot. Save your presence for the homes that welcome you, honor you, and recognize the treasure you are. Because the truth is simple: the way people treat you speaks volumes about who they are, not who you are. If they cannot show respect, it is their failure, not yours. And the most powerful choice you can make is to walk away, head held high, heart still whole, spirit still strong. You are not just a guest when you step into someone's home. You are a gift, and any place that fails to see that does not deserve another moment of your time. Number 5. The house where temptations and bad habits rule. Not every danger to an elder's spirit comes wrapped in harsh words or loud chaos. Some dangers wear a smile, offer a drink, or invite you into just one game or just a little fun. These are the homes where temptation and bad habits rule. Places where the air is heavy with indulgence, where the pull of recklessness overshadows the wisdom you've worked a lifetime to gain. Picture it. You walk into a house, and before long the bottles are out, the music is loud, the cards are on the table, and the talk is filled with things that lead nowhere good. Maybe when you were younger, you could shrug it off, laugh a little, or even join in. But now, in your later years, these are not just harmless distractions. They are traps. Traps that rob your dignity, your clarity, your peace, and even your health. It might be alcohol, offered over and over, until you take a glass just to avoid being left out. It might be gambling, with the pressure of only a few dollars until you've given more than you should. It might be gossip and slander, the kind of talk that eats away at trust and peace of mind. Or worse, it might be substances and habits that open doors you thought were closed forever. The truth is, no elder is immune to temptation. Age does not erase human weakness. It only makes the cost of falling even greater. What you might have recovered from easily at 30 can destroy you at 70. A night of overindulgence can send you to the hospital. A slip in judgment can drain your savings. A moment of gossip can shatter your reputation. These homes may seem lively, exciting, even welcoming, but beneath the surface they are dangerous. And here is what makes them especially harmful. In these places, you are not valued for who you are, but for how willing you are to join in. If you decline the drink, the bet, the talk, you may be mocked or pressured. You are respected only as long as you conform. That is not friendship. That is not love. That is bondage. At this stage in life, your spirit deserves better. Your body has carried you far, and it needs protection now more than ever. Your mind has gathered wisdom, and it should not be clouded with regrets. Your soul has endured trials, and it should not be dirtied with careless choices. You are not meant to be a puppet for other people's temptations. You are meant to be a beacon of self-respect, a keeper of dignity, a model of restraint and strength. Think of the peace you feel when you walk away from such homes. You return to your own space, your own rhythm, your own quiet, and you realize you lost nothing by saying no. You gained freedom. You gained self-respect. You gained another day of health, another night of rest, another moment of joy untarnished by regret. There is a saying, "Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are." The same is true of the homes you visit. If you spend your time in places where temptation rules, it will eventually take root in your life. But if you choose to step away, to say, "This is not for me anymore," you prove something powerful, that you are still in charge of your life, your choices, and your destiny. You've already survived too much in this life to be undone by someone else's bad habits. You've already come too far to let your final years be scarred by reckless choices. Guard your steps, guard your spirit, and never feel guilty for walking away from a house that leads you down a path you do not want to travel. Because freedom in old age isn't about saying yes to every door. It's about saying no to the ones that steal your light. And the homes of temptation, no matter how welcoming they seem, are not places for someone who has fought too hard to live in peace. Your life is worth too much to gamble with. Your days are worth too much to waste, and your soul is worth too much to sell for the price of fitting in. So leave those houses behind. Choose the ones where peace lives, where love flows, and where you are valued not for what you join in, but for who you are. Conclusion: protecting your peace in the golden years. Growing older is not a curse, it is a privilege. Every wrinkle on your face, every ache in your bones, every memory in your heart is proof that you have lived, endured, but with that privilege comes responsibility. The responsibility to protect the peace you've fought so hard to earn. And one of the most powerful ways you protect it is by choosing carefully whose doors you walk through. You've seen the truth now. There are homes that will lift you up, and there are homes that will tear you down. The house filled with negativity will drain your spirit. The house of manipulators will use you until there's nothing left to give. The house of chaos will rob your body of rest and your heart of calm. The house that disrespects you will wound your dignity. And the house where temptations rule will lure you into mistakes that carry heavy costs. But the beauty of this stage in life is that you are free to choose differently. You don't have to go where your soul feels heavy. You don't have to sit at tables where your worth is questioned. You don't have to lend your ears to voices that poison your heart. You can choose peace. You can choose joy. You can choose dignity. Do not let anyone convince you that saying no is selfish. It is wisdom. It is strength. It is your right. Your time is too short to spend in places that diminish you. Your heart is too fragile to give away to people who do not value it. Your soul is too sacred to be dragged into battles it was never meant to fight. So as you walk forward in your golden years, carry this truth. Every visit is a choice, and every choice either builds your peace or breaks it. Walk into the homes that honor you, that fill your spirit with laughter, that welcome your presence as a gift. Leave behind the ones that steal your light. You have given enough in your lifetime. Now it is time to give yourself the gift of peace, the gift of freedom, the gift of joy that comes from choosing wisely. Because in the end, the doors you open shape the life you live, and you deserve a life filled with respect, love, and the quiet happiness of knowing you are exactly where you belong.